Today, in this video, we will be joining a computer to a domain. We will be adding a new user, and we will be adding a new computer, and we will be adding a new group. So, and for this purpose, I have my server here up here, and I have this window. This window, which is a client machine, I'm going to join it to that domain. And also, these are two virtual machines, but I have an actual physical machine in my network that I'm connected to remotely, and you can see the address up here. So I'm going to join also that machine into this domain that we recently created. So let's go ahead and fire up all these machines. This one first, and this one next. So it is going to restore the machine from the previous state where it was initially saved. So that's the Windows 10 machine, and this one is the Windows Server. That came up with the server manager here. First of all, remember in the previous video, we actually promote that server to a domain controller. Now we're going to just go to the tool here and then go to Active Directory users and computers. That's where most of the configuration is going to happen on this server. So if I look up here on the user, there is actually just one user here, which is the administrator. This administrator is the user, is the account that was used when I was installing the Windows Server 2016. So if I right click on that and go to property and then to members of, you will see that this administrator is member of every single group, every single one, right? He is a domain admin, he's the domain user, he's the enterprise admin, he's a group policy creator, he's a schema admin, and everything for that user. Now, the rest of here are default group that are there created by Windows, by the Active Directory. Now, of course, we have a built-in a guest user that is always going to be in by default. Now, if we go back to the container, this container about computer, there's actually no computer that has joined this domain yet. None. So, but next one, if we go to domain controller, we will see that we actually have this domain controller that is called Cosmos 1. That is actually the name that we set at the beginning when we installed this Active Directory. First, we're going to add some users. And of course, if this was not initially open, then you will go to Tool and you will go to Active Directory Users and Computer. Click on that, and the Active Directory User and Computer is going to come up. And we have here we can create. We will create groups. First of all, I'm going to click on User, and then I'm going to right click on that, and then I'm going to go to New and User. New user, so it will be a new user. So, and I have set a couple of users that I am going to create here, which are some name that I came up with. So the first one is going to be Rachel, and the last name is going to be Mambo, and the logon is going to be R Mambo, and we will click next. On the next option, we are going to set the password, and let's choose the password, which is going to be and we will retype the password again. So now we have a couple of options here when it comes to this user. Users must change the password at next logon. Yes, that's an option that you always, if you were working in a production environment, you will always do that so that our user Rachel knows that his password is something secret, that she's the only one who know that password. Now it depends because sometimes you may be in the like a sandbox where you're actually doing some development. At that point, you can choose user cannot change password. You would tick that, but usually that's not something you do. And then password never expire. No, for security reason, we always want that password to expire so that a new password is created. Now, if I can't disable, imagine yourself with someone leaving the company, and for some reason we want to lay that person off immediately, so we need to go back in and click on this account disable. So for this thing, I'm not going to allow the user to change a password, so I'm going to remove this because this is just a demo environment. So, and then user, and I will just click next and finish. That user is created. And this is user Rachel Mambo is user is created. It's actually here. Now, if I right click on user Mambo, I can see all the options that I have. Add to a group, copy the user, disable the account, reset password if I need to, move the user is somewhere else, rename the user and everything, or look at the properties. But for right now, we will not do that. We will just stay only at creating user. So again, I'm going to create another users that I have. So right click users, go to new and say users. And the next user that I'm going to create will be Daniela. And last name will be Mambo, and the logon name will be D Mambo, and we will click next, and we will choose a password for Daniela. We will confirm that password. And then also, for the same reason, we will not allow Daniela to change a password. Next and finish. Now, what happened is that we have actually create a user. Now, we want to be able to create a user group. So I'm going to go on user, and I will right click on that, and I will say new. But this time I'm going to choose group. So if I choose group, one thing is that I need to choose the group name. The group name that I came up with is this time is going to be drivers. Imagine that I'm in a company that I'm managing that have drivers that produce service about drivers. So, and I have to now decide which distribution, which do I need to, group type do I need to select? Is that a security or is it a distribution? So I want to, that security is for one purpose only, is to assign permissions. When it comes to distribution, is usually to assign mass emailing for the company. So drivers, I will click choose distribution, meaning what? This group will be a group of people who are going to only will be email that's going to be sent only to the drivers. So, and click OK, and that group is created. You can see this group here with the icons here. I'm going to go right click again on that, and I will say new, create another group, and that group I'm going to call it maintenance. Maintenance. This is the maintenance crew for the building, and also I'm going to click distribution, and I will click OK. If for some reason I happen to choose the wrong type of group, I can only go back and right click and create a new group. So lastly, I'm going to do left click again, new, and group again, and I'm going to create a security group. And that security group, I'm going to call this is for the management. This is where I can manage all the security that is about people in the management, and click OK. And that's how you add a user and you add a group of users. In the next video, we are going to see how we can manage that group. When it comes to the distribution group and the security group, that could be another topic that is extremely vast that we are not at liberty to tackle at this time. And thank you for watching this short video, and I will see you in the next video.